Chef Buck here, and today I'm going to show you how to poach up multiple eggs easily. The easiest way to do it. Plus, I'm going to show you my favorite recipe for using poached eggs. It's a fancy pants recipe, as you can tell, because I got on my collared shirt. Got me on a tie here.
Ooh, let me swoon, you got on a collared shirt.
I know, I'm already regretting it, because I think my neck was a little skinnier when I got this shirt.
Uh-oh.
Now to poach your eggs, you want to get a non-stick skillet. We're going to go ahead and fill it up with water, almost to the tippity top, and then you want to skillfully bring it over to your stove. And we'll turn it on high heat, get this water heated up. So we'll go ahead and we'll put our eggs into these little cups, and that'll be easier to add the eggs into the poaching water without busting them, because you don't want to bust your yolk. You know, a poached egg with a busted yolk. Is there anything sadder than that?
It ain't fancy.
I mean, I could check my diary. We could find lots of things sadder than that. And of course, you know I'm kidding. That's just a joke. I'm way too macho to have a diary. It's for little girls.
Are you talking about a journal?
Oh yeah, I've got a journal. Alrighty, now our water's starting to come up. It's almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of vinegar in here. Just a couple of tablespoons, boom, boom, boom. And that's going to help our poached eggs to stay together. And the reason for that is science. Alright, so I think my water's hot enough. We got some nice little bubble in there on the bottom. I'm going to reduce it down to medium, and then I'm going to gently, carefully place my eggs in the hot water here. And the more carefully you do it, you know, the more likely it is to stay together. As long as you don't break your yolks, you're doing all right. You're still in the game. But this here is a good way to do multiple eggs at the same time. So we'll just cover it up. Boom. It's only going to take about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You know, you can poach it as long as you want. But you know, it's a very thin line. You know, if you go 5 minutes, you know, your yolk's probably going to be hard. And if your yolk is hard, then what's the point of poaching your egg? There's no point to poach your egg if you're not going to get a runny yolk.
But some people don't like the runny yolk.
If you don't like a runny yolk, then poaching ain't for you.
Ooh. Beep, 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 beep.
So it has been 3 minutes.
You wait too long, you ain't got no sauce.
Yeah, we like it super duper yolky. So I'm gonna go ahead and boom, 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 just loosen my eggs off the bottom of the skillet here, which is why using a non-stick skillet is a good idea. Now, ideally, you'll have a slotted spoon, but all I got is this spatula, but it's gonna work. We're just gonna set it on a plate here. That way I'm not putting it directly on my dish and getting it too wet. Uh-oh, sounds like my toast is coming up. Look at that, perfectly poached eggs. Look how jiggly they are. Nice and full of yolky goodness. I said that like a creep. That sounded a little creepy. Now, one of my favorite dishes to use poached eggs is a fancy fennel smoked salmon topped with poached egg kind of thingamabob. Sort of a fancy pants brunch item, but super easy to make. The first thing we want to do is we want to throw together a light dressing, and this dish doesn't have a lot of seasoning in it because I'm using a lot of natural flavors. I'm just going to take one little wedge of lemon, give it a squeeze, and that's just about a teaspoon. And you can see I've zested the outside of this lemon already. So I'm going to throw in 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and now I have some natural flavorings here. I got that lemon zest I was talking about. I minced it up, and I've got some minced ginger and some minced garlic. Boom, boom, boom. And then just a little bit of black pepper, salt. Then we'll give it a quick whisk.
That really isn't a lot of dressing.
No, no, no. It doesn't seem like much at all, but it's all we're going to need. This recipe is going to be enough for 2 people. I'll have a recipe down below you can check out, or you can go over to myfoodchannel.com and print it out. But if you need to make this for more than 2 people, then just double up on it. So now I'm going to take my spinach right here, and we're just going to toss it with this dressing. Get it nice and well coated. And now we want to get a little bit of fennel to fancy it up. Now this here is fennel. If you've never used fennel before, yeah, it's got kind of a licoricey taste, which sounds awful, but it's a nice accompaniment, especially for dishes like this. I really like it with seafood. I've got a shrimp and fennel dish. I'll put a link to that. You know, sometimes it'll have like a lot more fronds on it. You know, the stalks. It won't be cut like this here. You know, you'll have a lot more of this dill looking stuff. But sometimes you'll see it's like this here. You know, if the produce manager, if there's like an angry guy in charge of the produce section. You know, he's got a lot of frustrations. He might mutilate his vegetables before he puts them out on the floor.
Or he might cut it so you don't have to pay for something you're not going to use.
But you can eat all of this.
Sure.
I mean, rabbits do it, right? But we're gonna cut off the bottom here. Boom, boom, boom. Then we're gonna cut it in half. You see there's a little bit of a core in here. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut this in half. And then we're just gonna do a little bit of a notch and get that core out of there. See? And since we're not cooking this, you know, we're just gonna use it in this little salad. We wanna make sure and get some nice thin shavings of fennel. You don't want huge, thick pieces.
Is it hard doing this with a tie? Be sure you don't cut it.
Yeah, I'm sure not used to doing anything in a tie. And I've got about 2 cups of spinach, maybe just a wee little bit less than that. So I'm just gonna do about this much fennel. And I don't know what that is. That's maybe a half a cup, maybe less. Give it a rough chop, then I'll just toss it in here with the spinach.
Oh, and that's all you're going to use at the fennel.
Fennel has a strong flavor, so that's plenty right there. And I'm gonna throw a little bit of green onion in here. Onion is super duper. Onion's always a good idea. Now a little bit of the green onion top, I'm gonna go ahead and chop this and I'm gonna reserve this for a garnish. And we'll throw this on top of our poached eggs. I mean, this dish is gonna be super fancy all the way from the top to the bottom. We're even using a little bit of salmon. And it's just a wee little bit, but you don't need a whole lot. So just kind of cut it in half so that nobody's jealous. Just set it off to the side of the plate there. Oops. You have to eat that piece.
That's coming from your half.
That's right. Boom, boom, boom. Now you want some fancy bread, you know, to serve with this brunch dish. I'm gonna cut me up a couple slices here and toast it. Now if you wanted to, you could toast this bread and then set it on a plate and then build your little dish on top of your toasted bread, but I like doing it on the side. Of course, you could do this, boom, put that on the bottom, and then cut you off a couple other pieces of bread, you know, and have a little bread palooza. But you know, that sounds like more carbs than I'm allowed to have this week. Now we're just gonna throw our greens here, you know, evenly distribute them.
Unless you want to fight.
Nobody wants to be fighting over greens.
Hey, you're in a tie. This is a date, babe.
This is a good date food. You know, if you're looking to impress somebody, this is definitely a dish that you can make super duper easy. And you can make this for breakfast if you're lucky. Or, you know, but this is also fine for dinner. It's fancy enough, even though it's eggs, it's fancy enough for dinner.
Is it a date food if you put onion?
Onion and garlic is a great date food.
What?
Because if you can eat onions and garlic with somebody and still get along with them, that's a good sign.
Just bring your toothbrush.
Yeah, you should always have your toothbrush when you go on a date. Just in case. And there is not much to this dressing at all. But it is so tasty, you know, that's nice and crisp and clean. And a lot of this stuff you can do ahead of time. So we've got our salmon and our salad plated up. I got my toast ready here. I'm gonna cut it at an angle. So we got some nice little pointy pieces, because that's how rich people eat their bread. You know, they poach their eggs and they have little pointy pieces of toast.
What?
And I'm gonna go ahead and cut up a little bit of tomato for some nice color.
Careful, careful, careful.
Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. So we're just gonna go ahead and top it with our poached eggs carefully.
Beautiful.
So as not to bust our yolks. And look at that. Picture perfect. We'll kind of dust it with a little bit of black pepper. Just lightly. Then we got our little green onion toppings. Alrighty, there you have it. Salmon, fennel, poached eggs. This is how rich people eat breakfast, but you don't have to be rich.
And it doesn't have to be breakfast.
Alright, so I'm gonna cut into this and look at this yolky goodness. Super duper perfecto, nice and saucy. That's just the way I like it. But it is such a great combination of flavors. A little bit of smoked salmon, a little bit of yolky egg, and some spinach and fennel. Just a perfect little bite right there. It is so good. So easy to make. The only thing you gotta cook is the eggs. I am supposed to do this, right?
That's right.
I look like I'm a lawyer at some fancy brunch, right? Listen, JJ, sell right now. Have you always liked to run yolk, or did I educate you on that?
You educated me on that.
I kind of introduced you to the wonders of the runny yolk. This is just a fantastic meal. You know, don't be intimidated at the idea of poaching eggs. Grab you some smoked salmon and some fennel, and you can have this done lickety-split Hardly any work at all. And look at that. Who's not going to be impressed with that? You're in trouble with your partner, you know, you're kind of in the doghouse a little bit. Wake him up with this, you know, kind of give him a little shake in the morning, you know, wakey wakey.
Waking them up in the morning is not going to get you out of the doghouse.
That's true.
Just a helpful hand.
That's true. That's why Camera Girl has a lot of patience for me because I'm the kind of guy that would come in the morning and wake you up with a beautiful dish like this here because I'm just so
Really?
thoughtless.
Really? When does that happen? Alternate universe?
I've woken you up with a bag of donuts before.
I don't think so. Maybe if I
Half a
smelled
bag
you.
of donuts. Well, that's it. Go ahead and give this fancy poached egg recipe a try. Or just poach you up some eggs and just have some plain sad poached eggs. But I recommend this. You can go over to myfoodchannel.com, print out all our recipes over there. Thanks for watching and subscribing. We'll see you in the future.